Today I am using a full team of the smallest Pokemon, which includes some of the most powerful Pokemon like Cutiefly, Flabébé, and Joltik. Oh, and also Cosmoem, but I'm not using Cosmoem. That Pokemon only gets like 3 moves. If you enjoy these types of videos, then please consider subscribing. I specialize in doing Pokemon battles with interesting teams like this, and I would really appreciate it if you do. Now with that, let's quickly talk about the team that I will be using for this video. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this team was really tough, especially since I ran some interesting sets on this team. For example, this Joltik is a physical Joltik with Screech to drop my opponent's defense. By the way, this Pokemon's attack stat is 47, so it's not exactly ideal, but my team kind of needed physical attackers because a huge bulk of my team is actually special attackers. For example, this Flabébé is a Calm Mind, specially defensive Flabébé. You'll see in this video just the sheer special attackers that this Pokemon is able to handle. Next is my Choice Scarf Cutiefly, which is meant to be my fast Pokemon on this team. Next is Poltergeist, which is a very defensive set with Calm Mind and Scald so that I could burn the opponent and also have their attack. And additionally, if I get the burn, then I could do double damage with Hex. Interestingly, Sinistea and Poltergeist are both the same height. All of the Pokemon on this team are 4 inches, which makes them all of the smallest Pokemon. But anyway, this Sinistea is basically just Poltergeist at home. It's a Shell Smash, Focus Sash Sinistea with weak armor to boost my speed if I get hit by a physical attack. And last but certainly not least is Comfey, which is far and away the best Pokemon on my team, and it was like my win condition in like 99.9% of the battles that I had with this team. This is a defensive Comfey with Calm Mind, and I have a Key Berry on this set to boost my defense if I get hit by a physical move. So that is the team of Pokemon that I am using for this smallest Pokemon team. It definitely looks really tough, I'm not gonna lie, but I have 2 really interesting battles with this team, and I really want to try to get a win with this. So I hope you enjoyed these 2 battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using the smallest Pokemon. Look at my team on the left. It's just the most threatening team you've ever seen in your life. So, I'm going to lead the Cutiefly. My opponent's going to lead Porygon 2. Not really loving this matchup. I can't really do much. I thought about going for the Switcheroo and Twiki and Raid the Violite, but I kind of really liked having my Choice Scarf in that matchup for the Dragapult. So, I'm just going to bring in the Joltik. And interestingly, this Porygon 2 ends up being leftover, so it's not even a Violite Porygon 2, which is interesting. So I'm going to get off as much damage as I possibly can on the Porygon 2 with my my Wild Charge physical Joltik. I do end up doing some decent damage though. I get taken out by the Tri-Attack because I end up switching into a Tri-Attack on the previous turn, which did a lot of damage. But at the very least, I'm keeping this Porygon 2 at half of its HP. So I'm going to bring in my Shell Smash Sinistea. I was hoping that maybe the Porygon 2 would go for the recover, and then maybe I would set up a second Shell Smash after the fact. But the Porygon 2, after I get my stat boost, they're just going to go for the Thunderbolt here. Now, that doesn't take me down to my Sash, but I would have lived the hit anyway. Thankfully, I didn't get paralyzed either. This Sinistea was definitely one of the better Pokemon on my team. Next to my Comfey, which is like the best Pokemon, but after a Shell Smash, I do get pretty fast, and Story Power does hit very hard. But as the Iron Moth comes in, they're able to outspeed me after my +2 speed. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, well, this is a Choice Scarf Iron Moth, clearly. So I'm gonna bring in my Flabébé. This Iron Moth is actually really threatening into my team, so I need this absolute unit to just help me with this Pokemon. So I'm going to start setting up Calm Minds. This Iron Moth is locked in to Fiery Dance, so that means it can't go for Sludge Waves. And it gets a critical hit on me. I'm like, less of that, please. But it actually doesn't do as much damage, which is nice. Now, I have Moonblast on this, which is 4 times resisted. So that's not really going to do much. But I also have Copycat on this set. And Copycat is a move that uses my opponent's last move, which means that if this Iron Moth is going to keep going for Fiery Dances, trying to get the special attack boost, then I could use Copycat Fiery Dance. I'm going to speed up this part of the battle, by the way, because this is basically just me setting up Calm Minds in front of this Iron Moth, while this Iron Moth tries to, I guess, try to take me out with some crits or some special attack boost to match with me, they probably think that I don't really have anything to hit them, but I'm gonna go for the copycat Fiery Dance, which doesn't do much. Fiery Dance Flabébé, by the way, but it draws out the Iron Moth, so Gliscor comes in. Now, this was a really interesting turn because maybe they thought that I didn't have Moonblast on my set, that I maybe only just had a Copycat, so they're gonna ignore me completely. I'm negligible right now. They set up the Toxic Spikes, which is annoying, but the Moonblast one-shots Gliscor. I was like, oh my gosh, when are you ever gonna see Flabébé one-shot a Pokemon like Gliscor like that? So, speeding this part up again, the Iron Moth is gonna lock itself into Sludge Wave this time, and because of my special defense boost, I'm able to tank these hits, which is great. And the Iron Moth doesn't have any special attack boost either, so I could go for the Copycat Sludge Wave, and I'm going to go for the Synthesis to heal myself up, just try to make myself as healthy as possible, and I'm going to go for the Copycat Sludge Wave, and that's going to be enough to take out the Iron Moth. So Flabébé just 1v1'd an Iron Moth. That crazy, crazy life occurrence is happening right now. When will you ever see that happening? So, in comes the Dragapult. Oh, this thing is a threat. So they're going to Terrasilize into a Ghost type, and I'm immediately thinking that this is like, maybe this is like Choice Band Terra Blast Ghost, but they end up being Phantom Force, which is still telling me that this is like a physical, maybe Choice Banded Dragapult. I had like nothing to switch into this, by the way, so I opted to let my Flabébé go, which might have been a misplay looking back, but this Pokemon is such a threat. I didn't really know how to handle it. So, I swapped into my Cutiefly this turn. They actually swapped into the Espeon. So, I imagine they expected me to go for the Sticky Webs, which with Magic Bounce would have been annoying. But I missed my Play Rough, unfortunately. So, I'm just going to go for another Play Rough, try to get off some chip damage versus this thing. And annoyingly, this Pokemon ends up being Power Gem, which just one-shots me. So, there goes my Cutiefly. So, I thought, well, I really need to weaken this thing, so I'm going to bring in my Poltergeist. Now, this Poltergeist is really interesting. I'm running max defense and max special defense on this set with the Eviolite, and with Pain Split, since I have low HP, I can get off a lot of recovery. So, the Hex is going to do a lot of damage. Another one should be enough to take it out, of course. But, unfortunately, the Espeon crits me with a Power Gem. I might have been able to live one badly, but then it would have been a double down anyway because I would have gotten taken out by the poison damage. So, my last Pokemon is the Comfey. This is the Pokemon that I have to rely on to win in this endgame. It's also my second Fairy-type Calm Mind Pokemon on this team. I'm actually running, half of my team is like Calm Mind special attackers because what else could I possibly do with this team? This team had like 5 freaking first stage Pokemon and a Comfey. It was really, really, really rough. I really had to rely on making this Comfey the best set that I possibly could make it for this team, which is why I'm running like a defensive Comfey with like a standard like Draenicus Calm mindset. Although a Key Berry is really interesting to boost my defense and also boost the power of my stored power as well. So this Espeon is just continuously bombarding me with Power Gems. I think that it's a Choice Specs Espeon, but I thought that it was really good fodder for me to set up my Calm Minds. And the thing is, I really needed to set up as many Calm Minds as possible because they had a Flutter Mane in the back, which has really high special defense. And I also needed to get off as many Calm Minds so that I could 2-hit KO the Dragapult potentially. So, this was a huge turn. I opted to Terrasilize this turn because I definitely expected the Flutter Mane to go for the, maybe the Moonblast this turn so that I could resist with Terra Poison. And I didn't see that it had a booster energy either, so I was really worried about this Pokemon being like Choice Specs, which even after all my Calm Mind boosts, it would have done a lot of damage. So, I go for the stored power that turn. It does some great damage to the Flutter Mane, and now I'm going to be able to finish it off with the Draenicus. But seeing the damage on the Moonblast, it wasn't Specs, so maybe it was like a Focus Sash Flutter Mane. And as I was looking at this turn, I was like, okay, if Dragapult is Choice Banded, then they might be like Phantom Force, U-Turn, Dragon Darts, and I wasn't sure what the last move was. I thought it might have been Sucker Punch, so going for the Draenicus, it just does under half, unfortunately. It really does have a shot to 2-hit KO the Dragapult, and the worst part is that they have Psychic Fangs. I was like, oh my gosh, I really wasn't expecting that at all. Jesus, I seriously wasn't expecting this Pokemon to have randomly Psychic Fangs, but after the poison damage, I barely am hanging on 3 HP, and I'm hoping that this Drainicus would be enough to take out the Dragapult, but it just misses out on the KO. I actually think I got, like, a very low damage roll on that second Drainicus, so unfortunately, the Psychic Fangs coverage is gonna be enough. Had I known that this would have had Psychic Fangs, which, again, it wasn't really a given, because I thought that this maybe would have had, like, Terra Blast or Sucker Punch or something, but the Psychic Fangs really screwed me. Maybe I shouldn't have terrestrialized that turn, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm still adamant on wanting to get a win with this team. I got really close despite everything in that game. My Flabébé did amazing work in that game, and if you're enjoying this video, please like the video. I would really appreciate it. It would help to spread this video so that other people can see it, and I would want more people to watch these videos because these Pokemon battles can get really interesting, and they're also really fun to do, especially when you're using Pokemon like Joltik and Cutiefly, right? So let's see if I can get a win with this team. So, this time around, my opponent is going to lead with the Garchomp. I'm definitely expecting, like, hazards from this thing. I have my lead Joltik here. Now, I go for the Pounce. I really want to drop this this Garchomp speed in case it's, like, a Swords Dance, like, Scale Shot set. But I take some rough skin damage, and the Garchomp just one-shots me with freaking Dragon Claw. This Pokemon is so frail. I mean, obviously, it's a freaking Joltik. So, I'm going to bring in my Cutiefly, just get off the Choice Scarf Play Rough. I end up dropping the attack of the Garchomp, and the Garchomp ends up setting up a Sandstorm, which is really interesting. So, it's not Sand Veil, because I just got hit with Rough Skin, so I wonder why they're running a Sandstorm on this. Either way, the residual damage is going to be annoying, and I am going to be able to 2-hit KO the Garchomp with the Cutiefly at the very least. I was definitely thinking that I might get taken out by like a Rock Slide or a Stone Edge potentially, but now they're going to bring in the Archaludon. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely forced out by this thing. I have to swap out because I will just be giving this Pokemon stamina boost if I stay in and play rough. So they're going to go for the Flash Cannon. I take a lot of damage, and after the Sandstorm, it's going to be close whether or not I live the second one, but thankfully I am just able to live down on 6 HP, and the Pain Split is going to do a lot of damage. It's going to put this Archaludon at just over half of its HP. Unfortunately, the Archaludon is going to drop a Draco, which is way more powerful than Flash Cannon, and that's going to take out my Poltergeist. But now this Archaludon is -2 special attack. I was wondering what item it will be running. So, since this Archaludon is at -2 special attack, and since I'm such a bulky Flabébé, I'm going to use this as an opportunity for me to set up some Calm Minds. So, this is a great opportunity because now I'm basically at +3 over this Archaludon. And interestingly, the Archaludon chooses to terrestrialize. I was like, first of all, I wasn't sure what item this was running. This ends up being Terra Electric, so I was like, okay, they're definitely gonna boost the power of their Electro Shots. So I was thinking that this might have been like Power Herb Electro Shot. They're now gonna be at -1 special attack as well, rather than -2. But still, though, I opted to go for the Calm Mind again. Archaludon is very powerful because of this move, Electro Shot, and it goes immediately if it's in rain, right? I can't speak. My nose is really itchy, by the way, so I'm struggling right now with my narration. But anyway, I'm able to tank the Electro Shot, and now I'm gonna synthesis up to full HP. So speeding this part up again, I actually missed my Moonblast. I was like, what? So this is a freaking Bright Powder Archaludon, which is crazy. So I'm just going to start to heal myself up, and the Archaludon is going to have enough of that. They're going to also switch. Now, this was pretty crazy. The Mewtwo freaking comes in. I go for the Moonblast this turn. Moonblast does like half, and I drop the special attack, and the Mewtwo's going to go for the Side Strike. Side Strike hits me on the physically defensive side, but because of the special attack drop, I'm able to live the hit. The Life Orb Mewtwo Side Strike was not enough to take out the Flabébé, and my Moonblast is going to take out the Mewtwo. Oh my gosh, this Flabébé is just handling the most crazy special attackers ever. This Pokemon is insane. But it's definitely not going to be able to handle freaking Miraidon. Oh my gosh. Considering that I'm on like a low amount of HP and Miraidon is Miraidon, I'm going to get taken out by an Electro Drift. This Pokemon is a problem. So I I go for the Play Rough. I need to chip this Pokemon as much as possible. I get another attack drop with Play Rough. That's like a 10% chance. Obviously, I'm going to get taken out by the Electro Drift, but I was hoping that at the health that it was at, my Shell Smash Sinistea would be enough to take this out after a Shell Smash with the stored power. So, Miraidon is going to go for another Electro Drift. That is going to take me all the way down to my Focus Sash, obviously. And I thought, well, this Pokemon is a legendary. It's an Uber, obviously. So, even after a Shell Smash, my stored power might not be enough to take out this Miraidon, right? My stored power is, I believe, at 140 base power after a Shell Smash. So, even after that, it's just not enough to take out the Miraidon, unfortunately. It also does more damage than Shadow Ball, I believe, or maybe they do the same amount of damage, but I think stored power does do more damage, if my math is correct. So now my last Pokemon is my Comfey. I'm down 1 versus 4, and once again, I'm having to rely on my Comfey. But thankfully, thanks to my Triage, I'm able to outspeed and take out the Miraidon. But they still have the Archaludon in the back that I need to outstand and with last. Wait, oh my gosh, I completely butchered those words. Anyway, I'm going to Terrasilize because I'm definitely really afraid of a Flash Cannon. Thankfully, the electric terrain went away, which means that this Archaludon is not going to get boosted electro shots from the terrain. And wow, that Flash Cannon does a lot of damage. It would have gotten really, really close to taking me out. So thank goodness for my Terra Poison. Terra Poison was there to resist poison, and also so that I could avoid like toxic damage, or just have an immunity to being toxic or poisoned in general. Although in the last battle I got poisoned by toxic spikes. We're not going to talk about that. But anyway, they're going to go for the Draco Meteor. It does the same amount of damage as the Flash Cannon did, after a Calm Mind anyway. So this is really good because once again this Archaludon is in a position where it's at like reduced special attacks. And once again, I find myself in a position where I need to set up a lot of Calm Minds because they have the Armor Rouge, which resists all of my hits. And I need to also be able to tank any Psychic move the Armor Rouge goes for. So, as I speed up this part of the battle, my main goal is to heal up to as healthy as I possibly can, and also get as many Calm Minds as I can, so that I can do some good damage to the Armor Rouge. So, I'm going to go for the Priority Draining Kiss that takes out the Archaludon. The Archaludon doesn't have, well, Archaludon doesn't have high special defense in general. So, Armor Rouge comes in. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go for my stored power here. It doesn't take it out. It does some crazy damage. And the Armor Rouge sets up Psychic Terrain. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, this might have been in like a manual Psychic Terrain, like Expanding Force Armor Rouge. Either way, my stored power is going to take it out. I would have been able to tank like a Psychic from this anyway, or even a Psyshock. And the funny thing is, as the Iron Hand comes in, the Psychic Terrain is going to boost my stored power. So that's going to wall up the Iron Hands. And finally, I'm able to get a win with this team. Oh my gosh, it was really, really rough. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.